Welcome to Jake's Shred Shed #1. This is going to be just licks and stuff that'll really help you get your stuff together, guitar-wise. Today we're going to be looking at an A minor lick that'll get your alternate picking going really well, really quick, if you just practice it with a metronome and get going really good. So here it is. Alright then, what do you have going on? Alright, now, for this lick, it's mostly on the high E string, and then you switch between the two strings, B and E, and you're doing 3 notes per string going up the neck. That is the hardest thing, but the most beneficial for you, because once you learn how to do that, you can really apply that to a lot of different things in your playing. I'm going to play the riff for you 3 different speeds and break it down. So here's the riff slow. Okay, we're doing 16th notes here, so 4 notes for each click. You may want to just do that for a second so you can feel out what your right hand's going to be doing while you kind of wait on your left hand to learn what's happening. And here's the riff at a medium pace. I always start with the pilot note right there on 17 with my pinky. 2, kind of hold that for a beat by itself and then continue on. So now we're at a medium pace. 90 beats. The one before was 64. And here we go fast. Now for this, to play this correctly, you want to make sure your right hand, I'll get a little closer to the camera here, you want to make sure your right hand is on the other 5 strings, at least for the first part of the riff. And then you want to make sure in the second part that you're letting that B string ring out as well. You want all those other strings to be good and silent, and you don't want to have to use one of those, what is that? The old scrunchie. Go on then! Keep using that hair tie! To silence those strings. Cheetah! You want to make sure you're keeping those other strings muted. And because your left hand is down here on these 2 strings, you can't very well take your thumb over like that. So you got to be pretty reliant on your right hand to keep all those other strings silent while you're playing. Always use a metronome, for sure, when you're learning something. You gotta learn it first. So go through it nice and slow. Find where you are on the metronome and keep bumping it up. Play it about 3 times. If you can do it 3 times, it's time to start moving up the metronome. So don't worry about doing it 800 times at one single speed, because you're not really gaining much after you've pretty much mastered it 3 times through. Perhaps you're wondering, what's this all about? What's this guy with his vest and all that all about? I don't know. I do not know. Make sure you use the metronome. Go on then. Keep pissing in the wind. Don't use the metronome. No, no. You don't need it. You don't need it at all. Very important. I'll run you guys through all the fingerings. Okay, so to break this down, we're going to start right on the 17th fret on the high E. You want to start with your pinky because you need all three of these fingers back here behind it. So it goes 17, 13 on the high E string. You're basically all through this section you're on the high E string. So 17, 13, back to 17, and then 15, 13. So 17, then you shift down to 10, 10th fret, 13, 12, 10, then 12, 15, 13, down to 8, 12, 10, back to 8, that's what we got up to now. Then 10, 13, 12, back to 10, 7, 10, 8, so and then back to 8, 12, 10, back to 8, 5, 8, 7, 5, 7, 10, 8, 7, 4, 7, 5, and then from there, so that whole thing, that's where we are right there. Now I kind of just hang out on the 4 and 5 for like 4 times through. So 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, and then switch, adding in that 7th fret right there. Just like that. So 5, 7, 5, 4, 5, 7, 5, 4, and then you start your 3-note per string sequence, which is basically the second part and the most beneficial part, as I've been saying. So that these shapes are really good to know too, going all the way up the board. This is all A minor shapes rather, on the B and E string. So you want to start on the B now. We're going 4, 5, 7, and then the same thing on the high E, 4, 5, 7, and then 5, 7, 8 on the B as well as on the E. So that whole sequence. And then on the B, back to the B, you're just going B, E, B, E, B, E. So that's 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10. And then 8, 10, 12 on the B, 8, 10, 12 on the E, 10, 12, 13 on the B, 10, 12, 13 on the E, 12, 13, 15 on the B, 12, 13, 15 on the E. So it's pretty easy until you get to a few more frets here. Then we go 13, 15, 17, 13, 15, 17 on the E, and then for this last sequence on the B string you're going 15, 17, 18, and then on the high E you're going 15, 17, 19, and then ending on your pilot note right there on the 17th on the E. So really the only spot that it's different is right here. Goes 15, 17, 18, 15, 17, 19 on the high E, and then end on that. So that whole thing. So there you go, work on that. That's going to get your alternate picking up real good. Skipping those strings, 3 notes per string, that's the best thing you can do. The whole thing is the playing the 3 notes and then hitting that next string down on an upstroke, getting that alternate picking going, being able to cross strings. And there's a whole thing, you know, Troy Grady's got his thing with pick slanting and all that. That's great information to pay attention to. So go over there and check that out if you haven't already. I hope to see you again! And I will put tabs of this on my Instagram. My Instagram is Jake2Guitar. So just search for the hashtag JSS1. Not trying to rip anybody off using that method. I just think it's pretty convenient when you're trying to learn something on the internet. To be able to go over to Instagram, type in that hashtag, and right there's your tab. I'm also going to be using a dry erase board. Not ripping anybody off, just paying homage. Go on, give us a like! Really appreciate anyone who watches this. Please leave a comment. Any questions, let me know down below.